Hmm. 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 Now, where is that sound coming from? Hmm. Let me see. Let me see. Where is that sound coming from? Is it coming from there? Or is it coming from here? There it goes. There we go. Well, it's time to rise and shine, people. It's time to get up because you're on top of the ground, and the ground not on top of you. It is a great day, an outstanding day to be alive. And of course, next up, it is, of course, our traditional, it is our daily bread coming up next to get your day started. And then we tell you a little bit about the weather today, which is kind of like the same thing was yesterday. It's going to be hot. It's going to be real hot. Just going to be hot. I mean, what else can I say? But hey, it's still a great day to be alive. Okay? So hang loose, chill out. I wish you could chill out. Sometimes you can't. But let us go to our daily bread, and we'll be back with more of the conversational festivities of the day. Okay? Really, seriously. Got a lot of things to talk about. Okay, not a lot of things, but a few things. I know there's I believe there is no, I think the council meeting was last night. I'll see what happened on there in a few minutes here. Anyway, good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions 2.0. You know why we call it that? Because everything we do requires us to make a decision. And even if we don't decide to make one, well, we just made one. We'll be back. Hang loose. Next up, it is our daily bread. So hang loose. We'll be back. I promise you. Hopefully, get Lord says the same. Okay? Right after this.
God equips us to overcome obstacles and complete the tasks He's given us to do.
Our daily bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Kirsten Holmberg. We gathered monthly to hold one another accountable to our individual goals. My friend Mary wanted to reupholster the seats of her dining room chairs before the year's end. At our November meeting, she wittily reported her progress from October. It took 10 months and 2 hours to recover my chairs. After months of not being able to obtain the materials required or find the quiet hours away from her demanding job and her toddler's needs, the project took merely 2 hours of committed work to finish. The Lord called Nehemiah to a far greater project, to bring restoration to Jerusalem after its walls.
God pursues us in our restlessness,
This is the
us
right
in
one.
our sinfulness,
We'll be back.
holds us in our brokenness. Scotty Smith.
Our daily bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by David Roper. I have a friend, her name is Edith, who told me about the day she decided to follow Jesus. Edith cared nothing for religion, but one Sunday morning she walked into a church near her apartment looking for something to satisfy her discontented soul. The text that day was Luke chapter 15, verses 1 to 2, which the pastor read from the King James Version. Then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners for to hear him. And the Pharisees and scribes murmured, saying, This man receiveth sinners, and eateth with them. That's what it said, but this is what Edith heard. This man receives sinners, and eateth with them. She sat straight up in her pew. Eventually she realized her mistake, but the thought that Jesus welcomed sinners, and that included Edith, stayed with her. That afternoon, she decided to draw near to Jesus and listen to him. She began to read the Gospels, and soon she decided to put her faith in him and follow him. The religious folks of Jesus' day were scandalized by the fact that he ate and drank with sinful, awful people. Their rules prohibited them from associating with such folk. Jesus paid no attention to their made-up rules. He welcomed the down and out and gathered them to him, no matter how far gone they were. It's still true, you know. Jesus receives sinners, and you and me too. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Luke chapter 15, verses 1 through 7. Now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Then Jesus told them this parable. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me. I have found my lost sheep." I tell you that in the same way, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we can't thank you enough for the radical love of your Son, who drew all of us outcasts and moral failures to him and made the way for us to come to you in joy and boldness. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And
Today's
rise and
encouragement
shine.
was provided by Our Daily Bread
Thank
Ministry.
you very much. Thank you.
God pursues us in our restlessness. Receive.
Sorry about that. Now, somebody asked me to play this in the mornings. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, we got to wake up some kind of way. This is what we're going to do. Okay, so we'll be back up to 82nd Airborne. Gives you their rendition of a wake-up call.
Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, Bo diddly, have you heard? Bo diddly, have you heard? We're gonna jump from a big iron bird. Stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door. And you leap right out and count to four.
Come on now, it's time to rise and
My
shine.
main gone open wide.
I
I
got
got
it
it
now.
by
By
my
my
side.
side. Come on now.
Here we go, all the way.
All the
Gotta
Gotta be
be tough.
up and down.
Hey, lottie,
Oh, get it down. Lordy, ho.
Hey, lottie, lottie. Well, it's
Well,
a
it's
young
baby. Oh, yeah.
We're so
We're so glad we did join the baby. Oh, now.
Well, it's a yak breeze, yak come on. We're so
We're so
proud
glad
that
that
we're
we're
born.
born.
Here we go.
Here we go. And rise and shine.
Every day.
Here we go.
All the way.
Come on now.
There, pull. Here we go. All the way.
Okay, we had enough of that.
Gotta be,
I'm awake
rough
now.
and
We're
tough.
done. That's enough. We don't need any more.
Bo diddly, have you heard?
Okay, maybe a little bit more. Just make sure you're awake.
We're gonna jump from a big iron bird. Stand up, hook up,
Alrighty then.
to the door.
Okay, that's enough.
And you leap right out and count to four.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, we had enough. That's good. I mean, I'm good and awake now. I could use some good chow. Though I could get to the mess hall right now and get me some of that cream beef on top of that toast. I don't know why we never put it on biscuits, but we always put it on toast. I couldn't figure that one out. But hey, my job is just to do it. But I could use some of that stuff right now. As a matter of fact, I remember the first sergeant always coming in there talking about where my coffee at. Like we were making the coffee specifically for him. Although when he walked in there, we were. I mean, I could kiss up with the best of them. Yes, first sergeant, had you in mind when I made this coffee. You the man. You are the supreme leader of us. Bam, here's your coffee. Okay then. See, even in the military, you got to learn how to kiss butt. and be a politician. Sometimes that's good, sometimes bad. Anyway, I talked to my son the other day. He is doing fine. This week is the week of his 7-mile road march, and I'm going to be anxious to see what he has to say. Now, he asked me for advice, like I can remember what it's like to walk 7 miles with a rucksack on. I can tell you one thing: when you're short, it's a hard job. But yeah, I told him just to walk slow. No, don't be trying to be the first guy there. Okay, don't be trying to be the first guy there, because all you're gonna do is just get real tired. Okay, I told him, sip the water. Don't drink the water like you have to, like it's a Slurpee. Okay, sip it, and sip it only when you need to. That way, it lasts a little longer. Okay. Now they got these nice things now that you put on your back and you carry a lot of water. Back in the day, we had canteens, so it wasn't all this nice little. But I think it's better. I do think what they have is better today, though, because you get to wear it on your back and all that stuff. I mean, I see it out at Gunner. I mean, the Maxwell Air Force Base, nice little things. I mean, come on, where's the roughness at? Although I expect the Air Force to do that. I expect the Air Force to have this nice little thing, that they have water in, so they don't get their hands wet and all that stuff. And the water don't get dirty and things of that nature. I expect that. I really do, but that's okay. That's all right. That's good. But other than that, though, he said, "Oh yeah," and he asked me. He keeps asking me, "Well, why is it that I got to get smoked every time somebody does something?" And I tried to tell him, it's because they're trying to make a team out of you. They're trying to make a team out of you. Okay, team out of you. Because what all of you guys need to know is that you're not independent here. When you're in this organization, everything is predicated on everybody working as a team. And so I'm trying to get that across from him. He ain't feeling it though at the moment. He's not feeling it at the moment. He get tired of doing push-ups. But that's okay. Say, listen, it's a 10. And guess what? No, he's got less than a month to go. Yeah, he does. And so he hanging in there. That's I don't know. For all you guys that have been in the military, which one would you rather do? Would you rather do it in the wintertime, or would you rather do it in the summertime? I have to tell you, I think I'd rather do it in the wintertime. Okay, I'd rather do it in the summertime. I mean, in the wintertime, because there's always something you can do to get warm. But when it's hot outside like it is right now, and whew, there's a whole lot. Plus, my son has got like one complexion darker, being in that hot sun. But I tell you something now, for you folks who've never been in the military, for you folks, it is a life-changing experience when you go through what you have to go through to become a soldier. It really is. As a matter of fact, sometimes the training is tougher than the actual engagement with foreign soils. It's tough, and you can't be no wuss now. Okay, you can't be no wuss, but it's a tough job. But I told him when he left here, I said, you won't be the same guy when you come back. I said, as a matter of fact, I mean, they didn't recognize you when you come back. I don't know, but it's going to change you. But at least he's talking to people now. See, he used to just talk to anybody. As a matter of fact, how I told this story before? As a matter of fact, what happened was when he went across the graduation stage, some of the teachers had never heard him say anything because he just doesn't talk to people. But he talking now. Okay, he talking now. So get a plane ticket and go see your son graduate. Well, if you're scared. Listen, I don't know why airplanes scare me today. Now if I could get on a boat, I'd be all right. I don't really like boats either. I mean, now, and guess what? I was stationed at Pearl Harbor. What can I tell you? I went across the ferry every day from Pearl to Ford Island. I don't know. Yeah, something happened to me. I think it's got something to do with getting older. I believe as you get older, you sort of realize that the road in front of you is a lot shorter than the road in back of you, and you kind of, I don't know, you kind of come to the reality of you come to the reality of your mortality, and you realize that at some point the ride's going to be up, So I don't know, but I certainly will think about it. Now we made a deal. We made a deal that I'd come down and get him when he finishes with AIT. Now his mama's going down there and his aunt's going down there. All the folks are going down there to see him, and since they want to go down there for 3 days, no way in the world I could go down there for 3 days. Okay, we ain't that. I'd be stone cold bored. So he'll be all right. He'll be all right. I've seen him every day of his life for like 18 and a half years almost. So we good. Yeah, you're good. But we are sending his mama going down there and his aunt's going down, his uncle's going down there. So they're gonna be all right. Yeah. I'm contributing though to the trip. I'm not just gonna hang loose here and do nothing. Come on, man. Anyway, good morning to all you folks. How's everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good. Anything on anybody's mind? Yesterday I did ask a question. Yesterday about new rule for Alabama veterans. If you have I know they're lying. Okay, if you have an honorable or under honorable condition DD 214, you have no DUIs in the last. There ought to be a law against people who put all this stuff on the internet, knowing that they be lying. Okay, I mean, it ought to be a law against that thing, and I do believe. Okay, I do believe that that the Alabama legislature can do something about this in Alabama. I don't care no place else. But how many of you guys have seen this stuff on the internet, thinking that it's true, and it's not. It's a bunch of, and here's another thing too. Listen, if well, I can't think of what I was going to say now. I just saw that Josh Johnson is leaving WSFA. Wow. He's been there a while. It's what, 17 years now? He's been there. Hey, Josh, don't worry about it though. I was at 23 years at Cumulus, so it happens to us sometimes. We get to boot. That's okay though. He said, "How time flies." I walked through the doors of WSFA July the 29th, 2008. That's 17 years ago today. It's been fun. I am thankful for your support and friendship over the years. Now I will. Okay, now that's what we got to say that, because we don't say that. People think we're whining and think that we are, moaning and groaning. That's not the truth, But it is kind of disappointing when you put all that time on a job and you show up every day. You guys know, and for 23 years, I never missed one day of work. Never was out sick. Even some days I didn't feel very good. Still went on to work, but that's a soldier in me, though. You still go to work, but it is somewhat disappointing when you give your time and your talent. But they paid me for it, so I can't really complain too much. I mean, they didn't make me do it for free. So, but it is, but it's the friendships that you make during that time that bothers you more than anything. It's the friendships that we make. I'm pretty sure. I know I'm not the only person that thinks that way. It's and then you got to walk away from your friendship and all that stuff. All the guys over at Cumulus, but I love them all. They really that was my so like my little family there. Little family. But as in anything else, families grow up, they go different ways and things of that nature, and you just got to get over it. So I'm kind of over it now. But of course, I didn't know it was going to be this difficult finding another radio job. But Montgomery is just not that big of a place, so you just kind of like hang in there. And Lord have mercy, don't be black and not be a Democrat around here. Oh my Lord, don't be black and not hate Trump. I mean, my, you just can't do it. You just gotta hate Trump. You gotta hate white people. You gotta, to get a job on radio around here in a city that's predominantly black. Lord have mercy. But I will not change my old modus operandi. I don't hate people because you tell me to. Well, rent a car and drive up yonder. Yeah, I know. Listen. Hey, trust me. I know. I don't like driving that much. I just don't. I just don't like driving. I just, now I did go when my sister died. and there was no way for me to get there in time before her burial. I drove up there, but let me tell you something. I don't think I ever talked to God that long in my life. We talked again. Maybe this one the first time in the history of mankind that God got tired of me talking. But still, it just bothers me. I don't know. And going to Prattville, that little bridge up there. Listen, it scared me going underneath it. Not only did it scare me going on top of it, I'm sure. Okay, here's what I got to do. I got to go to Mobile. Okay, I got to go to Mobile and see whether or not I can drive the car across the big bridge. Okay, if I can drive the car across the big bridge, I for some reason it just. And I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person that feels that way. There are lots of people. I'm just the only person to tell you. But I know a lot of people told me when I first brought this to light that they had the same problem I did. They got the same problem I did. Anyway, y'all make sure y'all share the thing and all that stuff. And well, listen. And listen, Trump is a piece of turd and water mixed with it. Listen, I ain't mad at you. You have a right to like or dislike anybody that you want to. I don't have a problem. If you don't like Trump, right on. Because there are some days I don't like Trump. Okay. But I will admit to you, the only thing I haven't liked that he has done is the way we go around corralling people who we think are here illegally. That part I don't like. But I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge, so I don't know what's going on with them. But that part I do not like. We are a nation that has led our young men and women to the battlefields of many people to make sure they were free, to make sure that they could live as free human beings, and us to turn around and do, at least optically, to turn around and do those things that we fought against, and we have sacrificed the limbs, the lives, and the labor of young men and women to go around America and do the same thing. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm not the president of the United States, and I don't know if I want to be one either. But that's their call. They make the rules up there, and so be it. But I do not like it. The optics just look bad. But that's about the only thing he's actually done that I don't like. And here's another thing. Everybody, when everybody said they were going to put tariffs on things, right? Well, that's funny. The stock market is going up. Financial things are doing better now. So everybody said, "Oh, the stock market is gonna crash. The stock market is gonna." So far, except for you people's little whiny, your little whiny small things about the man. So far, it seems that his policies. I mean, now when the other day when he would talk to this guy, who I think he was from Africa, wherever he's from, and the president said, "Well, what's your language?" He said, "Our language is English." Okay, so listen. I didn't really realize that. I heard about it, and I couldn't understand why parts of Africa's language was English, but it is because the British went everywhere. Okay, they went everywhere they really thought they were an empire, so they went everywhere, doing everything to everybody. So I understand that. But anyway, let me see now. What else I got to put up here? Oh, if you want to, but I'm proud of my boys, both of them. Emmanuel is in Colorado Springs, as a matter of fact. He is a great photographer, as a matter of fact. He's been working with people such as, I think, Denzel Washington, Deion Sanders. And then we hear that Deion Sanders has bladder cancer. I sure hope they figure out a way to fix that, or to operate on it, or whatever the case may be. If that's not a lie that I read, because you really don't know when people are telling the truth around here anymore. And I forgot to tell you guys about the weather. So let me get to the weather right quick. Then we get on back on something. I did write a lot of things down. Anyway, it is 76 degrees outside right now. High today of 97 degrees. Okay. Today, 47% chance of precipitation, mixed clouds, sun this morning, scattered thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Continued hot and humid, high 97 degrees, and winds light and variable. On tonight, a low of 75, scattered thunderstorms about evening time, partly cloudy skies. After midnight, low of 75, winds light and variable. Chance of rain on tonight is 50%. on tomorrow. Pretty much like it is today. A high tomorrow of 95 degrees, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that means. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High around 95 degrees, wind south to southwest. Okay. The precipitation, slight chance of rain in the next 6 hours, 46% of chance that 47% chance that it'll probably give us a couple of, showers in the next 6 hours. Pollen is low. That's good. Air quality is good. That's even better. And high UV index. Now that should not be any strange to anybody else because high UV, it's the sun's out. Okay. The sun is out. So which means that it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. It's going to be real hot. Okay. Listen, I don't care. My job is not to convince you who to like, but my job is to convince you at least to look at the issues, to at least look at the reality of the issues. But you don't, man. Listen, you don't have to like Trump. Again, some days I don't like Trump. Matter of fact, I would imagine there are a lot of people because he's like a bull in the China factory sometimes, and I would imagine that there are a lot of people who don't like him, like you guys don't. I ain't mad at you. And that's the difference between, I think, conservatives and Democrats. A lot of times, they get mad at your choices, but they don't get mad at their own choices. I don't quite understand that one. But they can make a pronouncement, and everybody in the world is supposed to go along with them. And that's just not the way life really is. Again, make an argument, make a better argument than the other guy, and we good. Now, let me get something I heard around town yesterday. And a bunch of whining going on. The state legislature is talking about, taxing people who buy things on the internet. Now, I know you say, well, I didn't buy it here. Why should I pay taxes on it? Well, I think you ought to pay taxes on internet. I don't have a problem with paying taxes on anything that we buy. We pay. If we go to Walmart, we pay. If we go to McDonald's, we pay. We pay tax on everything. We buy a soda, we pay a tax. We buy a pack of cigarettes, we pay a tax. We pay and here's why I don't mind doing it. We still ride the streets of Montgomery. We still get our trash picked up. We still get the use of the fire department, the police department. We still get if a storm comes, the people at sanitation, but they still got to clean the streets. So why do people think because they buy it on the internet, they ought not to pay taxes on it? They still bring it here. When UPS or FedEx, when they bring it to your house, you still use the same roads that everybody else does that we all pay for. So what makes these people think that they ought not pay for taxes on stuff on the internet? I mean, please, somebody tell me why you think you shouldn't pay it. Tell me why. Okay, tax internet purchase, PURCHASE. Okay, purchase it. Yeah, I say absolutely. Okay, here we go. Now, there we go. So that is the question of the day. How do you feel about them taxing your internet purchases? I say yes. Yes, absolutely. You're still going to use the same roads to get it brought to you as if you went down the street and got it. The roads got to be clean. We still use the post office. We still use all that stuff. Nah, y'all need to stop whining about that. If you don't want to pay taxes on the stuff that you buy online, then buy local. Buy local. And see whether some of these places, I think, such as Walmart, Target, I think Target, well, we call it Target. Rich people call it Target. Yeah. But people will they actually can deliver. Matter of fact, I've been thinking about starting a delivery business myself. unlike Walmart and all them places. Mine is going to be called executive delivery. Yeah. Okay, no. I'm going to go back to my old business. I had a business, right, called Butler by Phone. I think I'm going to reconstitute that business and just Butler by Phone. For the most part, I did anything anybody asked me to do. I'm going over to people's houses and brought them a newspaper. Disabled people. I used to do everything. I mean, the worst job I ever had though was I had to go to a lady's house because she had a dog who stayed inside the garage, and she made me take she asked me to take a shovel because that dog been crapping in there probably for about 3 years. And I gave her a price before I saw it. So I had a half a truckload of manure, dog manure, in the back of my truck. Okay. Because I gave her the price before I saw it, I learned a valuable lesson. It took me 3 hours to get all that doo-doo up. Okay. And guess what? Since I gave her a price of $20 without seeing it, I kept my word. I just did it for $20. Okay. But I ain't never shoveled that much dog crap in my whole life. Okay. I never seen that much dog crap in one place in my whole life. But I did it for $20 because so what did I learn from that? What I learned from that is don't give people a price before you see the job. Okay. Even though you want to be nice, you want to make a living too. But I have never seen that. I had a little Ranger truck, right? A little one. And I mean, I almost filled up the back of that truck with dog doo-doo. Now I understand. I understand people like their pets. I got you. I know what you mean. But I don't think I could let my pet crap in the garage for 3 years. Okay, I just couldn't do it. I mean, maybe some of you guys. I don't like any dog that good that I want to go out there and do its thing. Which reminds me of something else. When I run for the city council, and I'm going to run. When I run for the city council in 27, if I'm live, if I'm not here, I won't be running. That's the only way. That is the only way you guys are gonna stop me from running is that the good Lord takes me out of here. Other than that, though, I will be running for city council because, see, I got common sense. First of all, one of the things we need to do is fine people for letting their ugly dog drop their load in your grass. Okay? Yeah, there are other cities who don't play that. Homie don't play that. Other city. Okay? The driver of any car. That's right, they do. But if we talk about the why you should pay tax on internet purchase, they do. But now you're gonna have an additional driver on that car outside the people to deliver your package to your house, and somebody has got to keep those roads paved. And we whine so much around here. So you pay tax on everything. What makes people think that you shouldn't pay taxes because you buy it on the internet? You're still purchasing something. You're using you're using the equipment here in Alabama. If you do it on a cell phone, they pay taxes on those cell phone towers. They pay taxes on the land that it's on. So why shouldn't you help pay for some of that? You are using their merchandise that is on public property. I got no problem. I mean, come on, y'all kind of unreasonable. Here's another. We already pay taxes on internet purchases 8%. They just want more. As usual, how much is enough? Well, again, though, the tax is 10% in Montgomery. So I don't understand the difference. If I go to Walmart and buy a cell phone, I'm gonna pay the tax. So because I order from someplace else, I shouldn't pay the tax? Really? The city still needs revenue, right? The city still needs revenue. We got to pay for law enforcement, fire. We still got to pay for it. So while you going down the road one of these days on that cell phone that you didn't pay no taxes on, and you get in an accident, you're gonna want the state patrol, or you're gonna want the city people, Montgomery, Aaliyah, whoever you want. You're gonna want those people to come help you. Well, they're paid by the tax dollar. So, I mean, what makes you think that you shouldn't contribute to your own upkeep? Nah, I'm all for that. And hey, there's a simple way, though. There's a simple way. Okay, there's a simple way. Don't buy online. Buy locally. Okay. Okay. Now, here's somebody else. We don't get real law enforcement because they halfway write up reports. Then insurance adjusters can't tell if a crime is a. I hear you. We pay for that. Just because we pay taxes don't mean we get the service. Well, hey, hallelujah, hallelujah. I agree. Hallelujah. I agree with you. Okay, hallelujah. You're right. But we know if we don't pay taxes, we certainly won't get anything. Okay, I mean, where can we live? Listen, I am not a tax-paying Democrat, but the reality is that if we're going to have a government, we got to pay for it. I mean, that's just. I mean, I know you got set at home and with your conservative think caps on. Well, we don't want to pay no more taxes. We don't want to pay no more. Now, listen. I don't like paying taxes, but you know what? I'm on a fixed income. Okay. Now, but I do believe, but I do believe this. I do believe that people ought to have a right to use their money that goes to public school. If they don't send their kid to public school, they ought to be able to use that money to go to a private school. I really believe that. You shouldn't pay for things. You shouldn't pay for things that you do not use. So I do believe that. And I'm so tired of every time I hear something about the education system, they need more money. Well, money is not the issue in education. How about some discipline? We're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone. Okay, but we need to stop whining so much in America. As Americans, our poor people live better than most nations in the world, and we still whining. Okay, I think we ought to put a sugar tax on things too, because that'll stop me from buying sodas. Really, I do. And they should cheapen. They should cheapen the things that we need. Like when you go to the store now, if you buy something that's healthy, it costs you 3 times as much money as it would cost anything else. But if you buy something that's bad, such as potato chips and beer and stuff like that, you don't pay as much money for it. I mean, I believe now that a beer costs less than a soda. Okay, a 24-ounce Coke costs more than a 20-ounce can of beer. Okay, so they don't mind you buying the things that are bad for you because you can pay tax. But so I'm thinking maybe we should charge the same for amount of a can of beer that we do a Coca-Cola. Because the ones I drink when I drink them, $2.50 for a Coke. I mean, come on, man. But I don't care if you take it up to $3 because I only need to drink them anyway. It'll stop me from drinking all that stuff. So anyway, okay. So no, I'm not a tax and spend Democrat, but I do understand we have to pay taxes. Okay, I don't have much money to pay taxes. I'm poor, but I do understand that somebody has to pay for it. Somebody has, and so I say yes. We need to pay money. We need to pay on internet purchases. I don't have a problem at all. I don't have a problem with that. And since you said that we already pay an internet purchase of 8%, they just want more. They always want more. How much is enough? I can't answer that because every time I turn around, somebody wants to stop the government for something else. Okay, I'm pretty sure you've been down to the city council meetings at least once or twice. I have never seen a parade of people that come up to the county, the city council people, and says we need money for this, and they're nonprofit organization. I feel you, but we want what they do though. We want what they do, but that money doesn't come from the city. That money comes from us. Okay, like the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army, I believe, has been trying to find a place to stay forever, and we can't seem to. Snooty. I call them snooty people. The snooty people don't want the Salvation Army in their neighborhoods. Okay, because they're high and mighty. Okay, I'm talking about Now, I ain't talking about rich neighborhoods like Wind Lakes or out there in Sturbridge, some of them, those little subdivisions out there. I'm talking about just regular neighborhoods. We don't want the Salvation Army. So who's going to help the poor folks? Really, if nobody wants, these people have made it their life mission to help people who are down and out. But we don't want them in anybody's neighborhood. So, I mean, we kind of snooty people. We kind of uppity. You know, we kind of uppity people sometimes. But don't put them in my neighborhood because, hey, my property value go down. Well, just in case, now I'm pretty sure that most of you know this. But when you die, somebody else is going to have your property. Okay? They're going to come in your house. They're going to take all your stuff and throw it in the trash. And so the only thing that's going to be left behind of you is what you did for others. Okay? What you did for others. Okay? I mean, really, nobody, and land, hell, you don't own land. Land owns you. You can't take it with you. If you dug for 3 days and try to put it all in a hole someplace, you still be digging. Okay. Nobody really knows how deep the earth really is. We don't really know. Okay. I don't believe if you could dig for 3 years and you still be digging. Okay. So y'all got to stop being snooty around here. I mean, y'all got to stop being uppity. You remind me of those folks in Hollywood. Well, we don't want it over there because it obstructs our view. Really? Seriously? Come on now. Really? Okay. No. So just remember when we get in front of the pearly gates and the good Lord says, so why didn't you want the Salvation Army in your neighborhood? Now you're going to have to answer for that. You have to, I mean, we all got to answer for something, but I won't have to answer for that one. I don't care where they put the Salvation Army, as long as they don't put it in my house. I don't care. I don't care where they put the. I don't care what neighborhood is in. I don't care. But let there be a place so they can do their work. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The number is, what is the number here? 521 something. What is one? Oh, 521 2963. And evidently we did find, okay, so we got that solved, right? We are going to ask our legislators to, yes, tax people who buy on the internet, because first of all, they're not supporting local people. And I bought a lot of things online, and most of the time I paid taxes. But so now, if you supporting our local people, then maybe, okay, but you're not. You're sending that money. You're sending that money to whatever country, probably the countries. And not only that, when you do business online often, you're buying stuff that's fake. But you don't know that. Like I was reading a story the other day, where I talked to a video the other day, and in a Chinese factory in China. See, these women who like these real fancy purses. Oh, they like these purses. They got to get them one that says Coach on it. I mean, they got to look like they high and mighty, right? So they buy a purse that says Coach. Pay $1,500, $700 to $1,500 for it. And then we found out that in China, they make all of these purses in the same factory. All they do is make the purse and put a tag that says Coach on it. And what's that other one? Louis Vuitton. The third shift makes Louis Vuitton. The first shift makes Coach. They charge you. And they charge you a whole lot of money because it's got somebody's tag on it. And so you got a $1,500 purse with $100 in it. Okay. So yeah. And you bought it overseas. So you thought you was getting over, but actually you're getting a fraud. You're getting a fake purse. But well, not a fake purse. It's still a real purse, but you're getting a fake name because it is not a Louis Vuitton. Okay. It is not a Coach. It's not made in France. Okay. A Ferrari. I have the rich people say it. It's made in a Chinese restaurant, in a Chinese factory on third shift. They put a tag on it, send it to the dumb Americans, and we're willing to pay $1,500 for a purse. That's what makes y'all mad. And we are whining about paying 10% tax. Nah, Tracy Larkin used to say, go somewhere and sit down. Okay, just sit down. Okay, just shut up. All right, just be quiet. Just leave it alone. Okay, that's right. So what do we talk about thus far? We need people to pay tax on internet purchases. Okay, and I'm not a Democrat, but I'm not so staunchly encased in the other side that I can't see logic and reason. It is reasonable if people who live in this city and a state that gets its money from the taxing process that we do, the taxing apparatus, then why in the world are we going to let people not pay it? Everybody needs to pay their fair share. I know that sounds like a Democrat. Now, ask me what fair share means. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But it should be equal to everybody. Everybody should be treated equally. Okay. And if your butt wants to go over there and buy fake stuff overseas, so you can say you got it, then we good. But you need to pay the tax on like you would do if you bought it right here in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay. So I ain't mad at you. Okay. That's what needs to happen. Okay. So have I solved that for you? Have I solved that for you guys? Like the gentleman yesterday that spoke on Community Reinvestment Act, which is Luke love to hear more about the Gateway Bank Credit Union. Well, is the Gateway Bank still out there? I don't know if it's still there, but I'll find out. Yeah, we get them on. We talk about that. We can get them on. As a matter of fact, yesterday, I'm supposed to have. I think I had one of my city council, one of our county commissioners was supposed to join me today, but hopefully my good friend Mickey McDermott. I forgot to send him a thing. Well, okay, I got busy talking, so sorry about that, Mickey. But we're gonna see if we can get him in next time. I get a lawyer friend. He was a police officer. He is he's a lawyer and an attorney. As a matter of fact, he was one of the people that defended the young man in the gun trial that we raised a lot of sand about. And I still don't know what. All I know is that the two people who know what happened is Mr. Gunn and what's the other guy's name? Can't even think of his name anymore. See how quickly we forget. But we can talk about that too. Okay, the numbers here, just in case you want to 521-2963. Okay, now I'm trying to get my my viewership up here. Okay, because I got some advertising I need to sell here so I can make a living. Because right now I'm not making one, unless you guys want to donate to my upkeep. Okay, so y'all need to tell other people about this, because this, I got to tell you, this is probably the only place in this town where we can have a conversation on either side about an issue. Because I listen to other shows in this city, and it's a bunch of fluff. I mean, I understand what happens in Washington, D.C. Indirectly affects us, but not that much. Not that much. I mean, at the end of the day, we're responsible for what happens here. Okay. All right, Greg, that's interesting. It would be different if they were fixing roads with our taxes, but they're not. They're buying a damn government Ferris wheel. Listen, the Ferris wheel thing, I ain't too much for that. But I will tell you one thing. Federal Drive, which is actually over where I live, they're doing good work on that road. I mean, I don't know who's doing it, but man, it feels good to drive up and down that road now. I mean, and none of that stuff lasts forever. But Federal Drive, Vaughn Road, I think Perry Hill, I believe that. And Federal Drive again, it's looking good. But I don't know the process of paving. I don't know the process of it. I don't know how it works and how long it takes to do it. But I know it's expensive. And one of the things I think they do have now, it's a machine, because I've seen it, that makes paving roads a lot simpler and a lot less complex than it used to be. So I think they can do it faster, but like anything else, technology costs money. They got this great big machine that looks sort of like a big spatula, Well, not a spatula. It looks like it's not a spatula. It sort of looks like sort of like a spatula, It's got two sides, and you can put it down on your. And then never mind, I can't even pronounce it. I forgot what they call it, but I've seen them work it on Federal Drive, and they actually are faster now at doing these machines, faster doing it with the roads now than they've ever done them before since I have been here. So I'm good. Somebody said we can finally have a parade down Federal Drive now. It feels good to drive. It does. It feels good over there. I don't know how long that stuff's gonna last, but right now, man, I can stop. I don't have to buy me no more tires for a while because I can stop on that road now. But anyway, we never had a parade down Federal Drive. Not since I've been here. We never had one. I wonder why we haven't had one. What would we call it? Headed to Wetumpka Parade? I don't know. We never had one. But that's not the center of town. I think downtown is probably the center of town. And I agree with the one that Lacey, William Boyd, and everybody does on Federal Drive, now on Fairview Avenue. Now, and here's my problem with the parade on now, white people, let me tell you something. Okay. When they put that parade together every year, the first of every year, it's not a black parade. Okay. We like to see some white folks come over there too, because, we love you. Okay, we stop making everything about color. It is a place though where people, most people live over there, happen to be a darker hue, but we're not. It's not a black parade. Like I hope the one downtown is not a white parade. Around Christmas time. I hope it isn't. And that's our problem in this state. In this city, we do everything by color, but I want to give Lacey Boyd and William Boyd a pat on the back. Do you realize that thing's been going on for almost 20 years, and that there's never been an incident at all, one that has been negative. It's always been a positive thing. So I'm just asking guys, it won't be so long from now that we'll be talking about it again for those people that are the panhandling parade. That's not nice. I mean, that's not nice. I guess that's what it would be going down Federal Drive, but so many people panhandling. But anyway, talking about the parade, then I'll keep moving on. And then I'm going to get into something else that's really important. Okay. We need to come together. And we always talking about that stuff. Okay. Well, somebody said the black mayor got my road paved. Well, I will tell you this much. Now, don't get me wrong. We got the road paved. We paid for it. Okay. Nobody in that office wrote the check. Nobody in the office wrote the check to pave that road out of that office. We paid for it. Okay. They ought to take care of all of them because we pay for all of them. Okay. So don't be a wuss there, Camilla. We paid for it. They didn't give it to us free. Okay. The black man. See, and there you go with the black mayor. See, why you got to name his color? Really? What difference does his color make? Okay. So that's what's wrong with y'all down here. Everything is seen in the vein of color. And I don't, and we miss so many things because we look at color first rather than accomplishment. Okay, so stop whining about color. It is 53 after the hour, so just in case you have to, well, actually, no, it isn't. It's actually 8 o'clock. My bad. Boyd Parade, no incidents and no white people. Oh, no. Coincidence? No, you would think, now, Greg, you would think it would be the other way around. Okay, so here's the deal. If you give people something to commemorate, if you give them something that shows them in a good light every once in a while, I don't think you'd have that problem with the. I think we have a lot of crime sometimes because people don't realize their value. Okay, I really believe that people don't realize how valuable they are and how special they are. But on that day, done in a community that often is forgotten, there are somebody. Okay, there's somebody that the world can see. They shown on TV, not doing the perp walk, not shooting one another. We do a lot of that too sometimes. But for that day, it's a pretty good feeling to be something special. And I think the city of Montgomery has lacked on that because of the past, because of the way things used to be here. I think a lot of people really feel they don't feel their worth. And listen, I there's nothing I can do about that. That's going to be a metamorphosis that has to take place, I believe, because at the end of the day, I'm a black man. Been a black man for a long time. I cannot ignore some of the things that happen and don't think that it doesn't somehow affect us today. And it does. But I think we have the power to change it. Black and white folks, we have the power to change what has been to what it can be. And I think that parade that they keep having every year, the first of the year, is something that's good for everybody. And I don't know why white people don't come. I really don't. I don't know why, but they don't. And it makes people over there feel some kind of way because I know Doug Singleton comes, a couple of white guys show up, but not very many. And I would really hope, my prayer would be this year, if we all live and see another year, another January 1st, that there are people that are there who normally won't be there. Can we finally just make it the Lacey Board Parade? Not a black parade, not a white parade, but a parade where black folks and white folks get together and come out and enjoy the company of each other. I really wish we could do that. Anyway, I have got to take a break right now, but we shall return in a minute. Because I got to pause for the calls. So don't y'all go no place now. I'll be back in a couple minutes here just to make you hang loose there. Because I do got other things to talk about too. The second suspect has been charged in the Friday night gunfight in Montgomery. Gunfight at the Montgomery Corral. Okay then. Maybe if these people realize how great they are, how great we can be, maybe we stop some of this, but you know what they said, if it bleeds, it leads. Okay. So let us take a break and we'll be back. Uno momento. Okay. Hang loose. We'll be right back. We got to take a break. Got to pause for the calls. We'll come back with some serious conversation here. Okay. Really, I'll be right back. Alrighty, it is 8:07 in the morning here in what's that say? Interesting. So how's everybody doing? Okay. Now we do have a phone line here, so y'all can actually call in and you don't have to type everything. People like to hear what other people have to say about it, even though when you're the smartest guy in town, sometimes it's difficult for folks who want to get the mental courage to come in and talk to a brother. But I'm easy on you. I'm easy on you. I don't take pot shots at you. It's not my job to try to be smarter than you. But again, all I try to do is make you think of a different way. And think a different way. I mean, nobody knows everything. I mean, I'm close to it, but even I, the great one himself, even I don't know everything. Okay, I'm just saying. So y'all can just come on. What does the guy say? Do you realize that in order for clans to come into equality with copper tones, they would have to give up their world? Do you think they will? Now, let me just ask you a question. Do you think we will? I mean, you think anybody's gonna give up anything that they built? Of course not. Africa right now has 54 countries. The continent of Africa has 54 countries because nobody wants to give up anything. So that's not just here. That's on the darkest continent on the earth with a whole bunch of copper tones. Okay, they've been fighting each other over there forever. As a matter of fact, they were fighting each other when the English or the Europeans came over and got the black folks, because that's how they got them. Because if they had their act together, that never would have happened. So you tell me. I think people like to own things. People like to say they in charge. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Okay, that's a human fallacy. That is a human. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. A human trait, as it were. So I'm not. I'm not surprised at all that people who build things, even if they use other people's labor, want to keep it. That doesn't bother me at all. That's the way. Again, South Africa has 50. Not South Africa. The continent of Africa has 54 countries. How can you ever get together when in such a limited space you got 54 countries? Okay, and the world itself, now the UN recognizes 193 countries. 193. That's what the UN recognizes, 193 countries. And listen, I'm glad that people want their own heritage. There's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But when you have, like I showed you the other day, if you take an apple pie and you have 8 people, 4 people, everybody's going to get a pretty good slice. You got an apple pie and you got 8 people. It's going to be an okay slice. Okay. But ain't nothing to write home about. Let's say now you have 16 people and you still got the same apple pie. So it would seem to me, now you see, so you do see the issue, right? We still got the same pie, but now we got more people that wants it. And now at 4 slices, everybody was okay with what they were getting. Okay, it's a pretty good sized piece of the pie, and they can taste it, they and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. But and right, and caller, you're I mean, texter, you're right. And even in Africa, they still have slaves. Okay, and even though Saudi Arabia and those countries don't consider themselves part of as Africans, looking at the map, they pretty much still tethered to Africa, the continent of Africa. So I mean, according to what I'm looked at yesterday, they can almost walk to the continent. They can almost walk across the street and be there. Okay, I'm just saying. They said it's the somebody said it's the Tan clan you got to worry about these days. Well, and again, listen, I in Montgomery is basically a tan city now. I understand that, but my question is why? Why? And the dynamics of that question will probably go unanswered. Okay, it probably will. He said modern slavery exists in all 54 African countries per the 2023 global slavery index. Listen, I don't. I mean, hey, why? I don't know because I keep hearing about how smart Africans are, but they evidently they ain't that smart. I guess. Said I'm a Native American. Well, I'm a Native American too. But my tribe was decimated, and they decimated a tribe before nobody in this country, no group, no tribe, no anybody are the original inhabitants of this land. And the problem is we don't know who the original inhabitants of this land is. But we do know one thing: man has always fought to conquer another. I'm a Native American. I was born right here. Okay, so I'm not really, I don't really go and I care about them names. Okay, everybody came from someplace else. Prove me wrong. Everybody came from someplace else. Nobody is when this earth was created by the good Lord. The only people I think the one thing we can agree on. That's right. We have 50 states, and I agree with you. We don't agree on much either, and we have 50 states and we don't agree on or have the same rules state to state, and we speak the same language, but it is that language though that compels us to be able to understand one another. Over there you don't have that. Okay, and again I hear you, but language is important. Because without it, you cannot communicate. Okay. And they've been fighting each other over there for years. At one point, a couple of years ago, the what they call those, they were going through people's villages, killing their parents and taking their kids and taking the kids of the parents that they killed. Okay. The original black man is the original man. Well, I don't know that to be a fact, unless you can show me unless you can show me that Adam was actually born, that was actually created in Africa, then I can go along with you. Give me some proof. Show it to me. Show it to me that what you say is true. Okay. I mean, these hypotheses that you guys keep coming up with without proof, it doesn't lend itself to that doesn't lend itself to proof. I mean, it's good to have pride. It's good to have pride. Yeah, well, I don't know. And if we were the original man, then how in the world did so many people convince us to give other black people away, bring them to America? I mean, really, if we were that original, we that smart. Tell me, where do you get that from? And I'm going on, and like Geno Jennings said, well, I ain't gonna get with him at the moment. But explain that to me. Where does that information you got come from? You're right. We do. We all have fit say we don't agree on the same rules either. Well, if you can put two people in a room, two people won't agree. But culturally, there ought to be some things we have in common. Okay, there is something that every state in America has that we have in common. There's some because we agreed to be part of the United States of America, which makes up the United States of America, those 50 states. So there are some things, and we agreed that Washington, D.C., and initially it wasn't Washington, D.C., I think it was New York, but we agreed that to be subject to the whims, to the leadership of a federal government, housed someplace up north. And I'm glad it wasn't down south. But so everybody You're never going to agree on everything. We got one Bible, and we got about 4,000 or more different religions who say they believe in that same Bible. I hear you. There's always going, but if you can get together and talk about the commonalities that you have in that you have in common, then at least, but you can't talk about it if you don't speak the language. And again, you got 54 countries, we got 50 states, but most of our laws are pretty contiguous, as it relates to American citizens. Most of our laws are the same in each state. We may call it something else, but it's the same. I mean, 55 miles an hour speed limit in Alabama. If it says 55 miles in Georgia, it's the same 55 miles. Okay, there ain't no special 55 miles for Georgians that Alabamans don't have to abide to. When you leave the state of Alabama going up 85, hit Georgia, it's still a road, still got basically the same laws, but a little different because everybody wants to be different. You know, even twins want a little bit difference between them so people can know who they are. But yeah, so I don't have a problem with that. The whole inhabitable planet is our garden. Well, I don't have a problem with that. The good Lord gave us rule over and dominion over the things on earth. We don't do a very good job at it. Often, we don't do a very good job at it. I would say that because some don't want to, and some do. The original black man is the original man. Well, again, just show it to me. Give me the proof, and I'll shut up about it. And all living things come from black matter. Well, I have a problem with that. But give me the proof that the original black man is the original man. Listen, I'd be proud of it. I like being black. Being black is good. Get out in the hot sun, being black is good. At nighttime, people can't see you. You can sneak up on them, especially if you're in the military. So tell me, but just show me the proof. Like dinosaurs. I don't believe in dinosaurs either. I think dinosaurs is a bunch of hollycock. I haven't seen any proof that there's been a dinosaur. I've seen some bones put together, well, probably put there by Hollywood. I'm just saying I haven't seen them. Now, if I leave the house today and I see a dinosaur walking down the street, I believe they exist. But I don't believe that dinosaurs been around. At least not to the extent that we know what they look like. Of course, I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. Show me a dinosaur and I'll believe them, okay? Native Americans are indigenous and been tricked into citizenship. Again, I'm indigenous to North America. I was born right here, right in North America, United States of America. I'm cool with that. But there's no indigenous people that we have ever seen. None. We haven't seen them. Now you can claim it. Now DNA gives us a physical physical proof that we have certain things in common because of our strain. Okay, but it doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us where we originally was from. But DNA is good. DNA is good. I'm with you on that. At least that's some scientific proof that we all have something in common. Because that's all DNA is worth at the moment. I think at the moment. So I don't think it is 100% proof that anybody was born any place, that anybody knows anything. Because people traveled. People traveled back and forth. In those days, I mean, how do you think we all get? If we all started, and then again, and this depends on your perspective of what you believe. I believe that the earth was flooded at one time, according to the Bible. And if that is so, then that means that the family that was on the ark, if it is as they say it is the father of us. Okay. I mean, that's who got Noah and all them folks on that boat. And I think they had different different people from different lands on that boat too. I got to look that up, 'cause I haven't heard talked about that story in a long time. But if in fact the earth was if in fact the earth was flooded, then none of us are the original beings that started when the earth started. Okay, I'm just saying, all of us are related to early human. That's true. Who came from Africa? Okay, if you say that, again, I don't know when the land was dry, when the land dried, and I don't think the Bible tells you where they ended up at. I don't know. Maybe that's when the continents became. Maybe that's when the continents were formed after the flood. I don't know. I don't know if there's any scientific proof to prove that or not, but that would explain a couple of things. That would explain how we got all these different continents, because the water, once it resided, it sort of it sort of separated continents. At least that's what I'm thinking. I don't really know, but I'm just thinking that makes sense to me. The numbers here, 521-2963. Some of you guys ought to put these things out. I want to hear your voice when you explain these things to me. Okay, because I mean, it's easy to write stuff. Okay. What do you say? Native Americans are indigenous and been tricked into citizenship. Well, again, I'm indigenous too to America. Yeah, this is where I was born. I don't care what happened before I got here. I was born in America. So I am an American, part of North America. But yeah, I'm good. I'm indigenous too. So the Indians can't claim, then they can't be the only people say they're indigenous to this country, because that's not true. So am I. Okay. So it's every human being that's ever been born here. He is indigenous to this country. All right. So anything else? I didn't think so. Now let's get on to something else here, because I was into this yesterday, and I was wondering something, and nobody has answered this question yet for me. What I'm wondering is that there's a robot called Sophie, and Sophie is a robot that has been programmed to, for the most part, to take on human features. Okay, the ability to have a ongoing conversation with a human being. She's able to do that. But here's my problem. Really, here is the problem. Why do they need to be citizens? Because I think there's something nefarious going on here. Because in Saudi Arabia, they took Sophie and gave her a citizen. Now, it's not even a her, it's a robot. That's like calling a guy who thinks he's a woman a female. Excuse me, you're still a male. They're robots. But why would a robot need citizenship unless there was something nefarious going on with this product? Okay. And so here's what we came up with. A robot might need citizenship status from a hypothetical or a symbolic reason, though in practical legal terms, it currently does not make sense. Okay. So after doing my research, here are some of the reasons why a robot might need to have citizenship. Okay. Symbolic recognition of rights. So evidently, we're going to give robots more rights than human beings at some point. In 2017, Saudi Arabia granted citizenship to the robot Sophie. The move, according to them, was symbolic, not a legal change in rights, but it sparked debates on whether or not robots should have rights. And what it means to be a citizen in the age of AI. AI is dangerous. I don't care what anybody said. AI and automation. It is more than a publicity stunt, than a policy change, according to what some people say. But it has raised an ethical and philosophical questions about why do we want to give a non-human citizenship rights? Is AI going to change our world? So I got to tell you, and here's another thing. if these robots, what if these robots decide to commit crime? What if they decide to commit crime? Okay. What if their AI thing gets to the point where they are sentient beings? They have taken on the personality of human beings. What if they start to commit crime? Then people say, if that's the point, then they may need some citizenship. Citizenship. What's the word I'm looking for here? There's another word. They may need the benefits of citizenship. Now, citizenship could be a future framework for assigned responsibility for actions, but how are you going to blame somebody without a moral code for actions? Okay. I mean, seriously, you can't hold people responsible. You cannot hold a machine responsible when it was programmed by a human being, unless you are going to hold the human being responsible for what the robot does. This, I'm telling you, this AI thing, we are just beginning to understand what we are doing. And from where I'm sitting, it is not a good thing. Okay. Now you remember a couple of years ago in the early 70s, there was a show called The Bionic Man and the Bionic Woman. And that was Lindsay Wagner and what was the guy's name? I loved it though. I loved it because it was fantasy. It was just, fantasy. I mean, what do you mean? What you mean you can see 18 miles away? Huh? Or you can go faster than a car. Come on, man. What was the guy's name who played in $6 Million Man? I mean, now it's not even a joke anymore. I mean, are we on the precipice of doing something that, and if we do, can we control it? That is going to be the $6 million question. Can we control it? Okay. Few million Americans type of, okay. Somebody says that, I see we're still back on this. Climate and diet are responsible for the different skin tones and physical. Okay. But this is happening after humans left Africa. Well, but you can't prove that. You can't prove it. It's a hypothesis that you're putting forth without any proof whatsoever. You can't prove it. Show me a video. Show me some writing that can tell us. Show me the books that they wrote then. Show me anything that makes it. We come up with all these claims, but we have no proof. Okay. So show me the proof. I shut up. Like, show me the proof that dinosaurs really existed, and I believe in them. Okay. I mean, just show me. That's all I'm asking. Just show me. I said only a few so-called Africans came from Africa. In the Greek, millions plus Native Americans were already in Americas before Africans returned to trade with us. The Africans showed the Europeans how to get here. Okay. Well, whatever. Listen, I'm letting y'all can, again, what you say may very well be true. But again, show me the proof. I'm a logic and reason guy. Show me the proof. Okay. Explain to me scientifically how you know this. You don't know this. Okay. Like in Wetumpka, Alabama. They keep telling me that if you go to Wetumpka, that an asteroid hit that side. If you're going toward from Montgomery, if you're going toward Wetumpka, they say that a meteorite hit it. Well, show me the film. Okay, show me the film that a meteorite hit it and Wetumpka is still there. And just show me, just show me the proof. I mean, what's it like Superman coming back after being away for a while and he just landed right there? Just show me the proof. That's all I had. Just show me the proof. That's all. Just show me the proof. Give me some scientific evidence that what you say is true. Then I go along with you. Oh yeah. I truly will. But right now, Nobody's shown me any. So again, I'm willing to believe it, but show me the proof. Yeah, just show me the proof. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Just show me the proof. Show me the proof that a meteorite. I'm not saying it didn't, but show me the proof that a meteorite hit the side of that mountain in Wetumpka. Okay, just show me the proof. That's all. Just show me the proof. Give me some scientific proof or something. Show me that meteorite, it still should be radioactive right now. Then, if it came from space, then it ought to be has a high portion of radioactivity on it. Okay, so I'm just saying, just show me the proof. Just give me the proof, baby. That's all. Give me the proof that what you say is true. The black man, if the black man is the smartest guy ever been on God's green earth, then why in the world we catching hell now? Okay. Now I know that George Washington Carver and a lot of these people, I know a lot of their things, they were smart men, and a lot of their inventions were stolen. There ain't no doubt. But we got the proof of that one. Okay, we know that one. Okay. But unfortunately, we don't have the proof that show us that that the African man was the first man on earth. We did Adam or whoever. Well, actually, and we're discounting the flood. Now, did the flood happen or not? I do not know. But if you can't believe half of what you say you believe without believing the whole thing. So the Bible tells us that the earth was flooded. So, and unless we had a whole lot of people, a lot of us wasn't, wasn't on that boat, that ark. Again, though, I just want to know, who did it. Everybody knows who created the modern world we live in today. For peanut butter, the left tries to erase the knowledge. Well, that's not necessarily. Well, that's out my wheelhouse right there. I don't know what peanut butter got to, but that's our proof of dinosaurs and the Flintstones. Well, again, entertainment is a wonderful thing. Okay, entertainment is a wonderful thing. I'm good. Invented. No, GWC did not invent the peanut. GWC invented the things that come from the peanut. Okay. Now, you're a teacher. I know you know that. So, but no, he didn't invent the peanut. Okay. He was so brilliant that colleges and universities back in those days wouldn't give him a PhD because he was black. And again, one of the faults of mankind. I got you. But GWC, George Washington Carver, did not invent the peanut, but he did invent a myriad of things from that peanut. So he took what the good Lord gave us and extracted from it all the things that he could, and probably had a couple more he could have done besides peanut butter. So no. He didn't invent the peanut. Will you agree with that? Dr. Joe? Will you agree with that? Okay. I just want you to hear me say, because you may have made maybe you just did that on purpose. Okay. Because I know that that GWC did not invent the peanut. Okay. So I know you know that. So we good. I'm good to go. Anyway, it is so other things going on. So I guess y'all don't really care about this this thing with the robots, because that's to me, that's some dangerous stuff. If robots begin to get more civil rights than people do, well, okay. So we want to give a robot personhood. Okay. Does that mean that you can't work them all the time? You got to give them a time to take a break and get something to eat and stuff like that. I mean, is that because if that's the case, Hyundai gonna be in trouble, because they work the hell out them robots out there. Okay. I'm just saying they may be on the precipice of having to give their robot people give their robot people out there a chance to take a break in the middle of the day. Okay. Matter of fact, in Korea, they don't hardly give human beings a chance to take a break. Okay. Yesterday, all of the all of the conversations about the Whitewater thing, I went out and I tried to find the people that are on this board called the what's it called, the MCCD MCCCD Whitewater Ownership Board, and tried to find somebody to come on, and I'll be trying tonight too, again today, to try to find somebody to come talk about that board, because there are people who just whining about Whitewater. Okay, they're just whining about the Whitewater Board. Okay, so I'm good. I still think it's a good idea. I still believe that it is an idea whose time. Okay, maybe it was a little early. Maybe it was a little early. But I think its time. Its time had come. I think we needed something in this city that did not take us back to 1962, 1940, 1950, early 70s, and maybe early 80s about race. I think we needed something. Now, I will admit to you, because I'm intellectually honest. It may have been it may have been a little premature, but I like looking at water. Now I don't like being on the water very much, because I'm just if I want water, I'll take a shower. I don't have to worry about drowning, or bathtub, or go to the bathtub. I don't have to worry about drowning in the bathtub. Although there have been some people who have drowned in the bathtub, but that's because after they fell out or something like that. I'm just saying. So the Whitewater thing may be a little, but I'm thinking, I think it has the possibilities. I really do. I think it has the possibilities of being a good source of revenue, and bring people to Montgomery. Okay, because why hardly nobody wants to come to Montgomery right now. I mean, a lot of people come, but when they come, they come to look at the past. They want to know. They want to know, how were the Negroes treated back in the day? Okay, not what we're capable of doing today and where we came from, but how we were treated back in the day. And I would imagine that some folks have come out to that thing out there and say, "Yeah, buddy, that's where we used to have to. That's where we used to deal with them." So I don't know. I'm somewhat ambivalent about where we are as a city. Again, they did find a one of the people who's in that shootout the other day. I wish there was something we can do about guns. I really do. I wish there was something we could do about. And I don't know what that would be. They don't pay me. They don't pay me to worry about those things. But I wish there was something we could do about guns. I just don't believe that the Constitution of the United States and the forefathers of this country ever imagined that this kind of carnage. Somebody just came in. Hold on, let me get to where I'm going here. Okay, let me see. Mickey.
Good morning, Airborne.
How you doing, man?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm sitting here giving my philosophical view on gun control.
Well, how's that working out in the United States right now?
Well, it's difficult in Alabama to talk about gun control because everybody thinks they got a right to carry a gun, and they do according to the Constitution. But I'm telling you, I think you're going to be intellectually honest, that there is no way our founding fathers would have wanted Bubba and Leroy to walk down the street with a Mac 10, and look what happened in what I mean. No, nobody can convince me that's what they wanted to do. What say you?
Well, I'll have to agree. There are a lot of people in our society who should not be allowed to carry guns, but there are a lot of our people, including you and me, who should be allowed to carry guns
Yes.
because we're reasonable, we're responsible, we're trained. Um, I cannot see us going along as a society much longer without some form of gun control in some way, shape, and form. I think it's inevitable. But I want to make sure that we don't cross a line and give up our rights because, this country was founded on revolutionaries who picked up a gun against tyranny.
Mm-hmm.
And that is always in the mindset of Americans is we were founded in tyranny and we had to fight to get out of it. And tyranny, I'm sorry, the last few years showed how close we could get to tyranny. And when one political party owns all of the cards on the table, there are consequences to elections. And those consequences damn near destroyed us the last 4 years. I'm sorry. I love the Democratic Party. I love so many in it, but the leadership at the national level freaking has lost its mind.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
You know that as well as I do. And
Yeah.
anybody who's intellectually honest will admit that, you know, trans story time at the library for children
Mm-hmm.
is detrimental to our society. At some point in time, you got some country like Ukraine, which went all.
What happened? I lost him.
When the big boy wolf came over its borders, they didn't have enough grown men to fight for it. They didn't have armed citizens who could stand up. They had to wait for other countries to bring them guns and ammunition. Okay? We can't ever let that happen. America still must be the arsenal of freedom in this world. And now that young man yesterday in New York with a AR-15, everybody who helped him get an AR-15 or a pistol needs to take their happy butts to jail for a long time because they are partially responsible for arming that young man. We have in the country have got to address mental health on a new level. Okay? It just has to happen. I was in Sam's this morning getting gas, and there was a man and a woman homeless team, half dressed, and when one lady didn't roll her window down, the male homeless guy walked up and slapped her car, scared her to death. She ran the red light, trying to escape him.
Yeah.
And we live in a city. Hang on a second. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah. Get your phone out. Turn the mic on.
Well, I just turned it down. I'm okay. But when we have less than 50% of our required law enforcement officers on the streets in our city, when our sheriff's department is having to pay overtime to patrol the streets of Montgomery because our city council won't help him foot the bill for our safety, they have failed us. Our mayor has failed us. And the police department is stretched so thin.
Right.
What do you mean? If you don't believe me, go on Atlanta Highway on a Friday afternoon and watch.
Now, let me ask you, you said the city won't help pay the sheriff for their helping us?
Oh, yeah. The sheriff has had to eat overtime of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the city council has not reimbursed him a dime. The sheriff of our county has had to put deputies at East Chase Mall to protect us and to handle accidents because Montgomery Police Department doesn't have the manpower to go out there. Okay? We're having gun battles on the Atlanta highway. I don't know if y'all heard it, but did you know that Beasley Allen's law firm got shot the hell up? Hadn't heard a word about that from WSFA because WSFA and the Montgomery Advertiser, they won't put that material out there.
Of course, I didn't hear. Yeah, no, I didn't know about that. Wow.
No, they shot up his law office, and hadn't heard one word on the media, none.
Wow.
When and our sheriff Derek is working the hardest he can with the resources he's had, and understand, County of Montgomery is a big county, and he only has so much budget. So we've got to make a decision in this city at some point in time. We've fully funded a police department that's not fully staffed.
And that's true. That's what I heard. That's true. So where's the money?
Well, that's the question, is where's the money? Where's our city council being a responsible body of elected officials? You know, you can have all the press conferences you want. You can go to all the seminars all around the country you want. But unless you put on a weapon and a badge and go stand out there on Atlanta Highway on a Friday afternoon and bring back the motorcycle cops so that they can start pulling over cars and stopping some of the crime and putting units patrolling at Riverside, putting units back on the bicycles downtown where all the tourists are, you're not going to solve this problem. Taking away guns from citizens is not the right thing to do right now, because right now all the bad guys have better weapons than everybody else.
No, and that's why there's some truth. Now, my only addendum to the law is that you do like Kennesaw, Georgia. Everybody's got to have one in their home.
Kennesaw and Cummings and Griffin, pretty much.
Yeah, but I just don't know.
I think that's going too far. Ordering citizens to have guns.
That's true, but you shouldn't have to have a law. You shouldn't have to have a permit though to have a gun in your home, because that's your sanctity. I mean, that's your castle.
You are absolutely right. Yeah. No citizen should have to be request to protect him or his family. You know, oddly enough, I was on the Thai-Cambodian border many years ago, and the first day I got back, I landed at San Francisco, and they put me up at a hotel overnight waiting for a connecting flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to my hotel room, and I turned on the TV, and I watched a massacre at a McDonald's. Remember that?
Yeah.
A gunman with a long rifle is inside the McDonald's, and the police officers outside stood behind their police cars, and the gunman got frustrated, and he just started shooting up the people who were sitting in that restaurant, and he killed like 20 of them. And I was screaming at the TV, "What are you doing? Run. Your job is to run towards the danger." That's what law enforcement is supposed to be trained for. That's what the military is trained for. First responders are trained for. And I was watching San Francisco police officers just watch him.
But now you know better. Now the Supreme Court said that that's not their job to go and protect you as an individual. That's what they said. You know,
I understand that, but that's also a mindset of a department and a training philosophy. Because I know the men and women of the Montgomery Police Department. I know them well.
Mm-hmm.
And to a man and a woman, they will go into the fight. I have not seen cowardice in the field in this department. and I
And
give
you
him
used to be a
kudos
policeman
for it.
too, so people know you were
That's
a
true.
policeman one time.
I worked my way through law school as a police officer here in Montgomery. But I will say this. We recently had a black female Montgomery police officer who was chasing a suspect over behind the old Igors.
Hmm.
And that young man was randomly firing at her as she chased him, and she returned fire. And the suspect was apprehended. He's alive. And that suspect put bullet holes through people's apartments with no concern for those residents and those sleeping children.
Mm.
And she didn't break off the fight. She ran through those bullets. Have you heard anybody in this city holding her up and saying, "Damn good job, young lady"? You know, if you want to recruit men and women of honor and courage,
Right.
you put her on the face of the Montgomery Police Department and say, "I ran to the danger. That's what you trained me. That's what you paid me for." But WSFA hadn't done a profile on her. The newspaper hadn't done a profile on her, and they're not going to because they don't have the courage and they don't have the intestinal fortitude to support these young men and women out there doing a hard job. And until we get the mindset that that young woman was out there protecting those people who were sleeping in their homes. Now, she's not expecting somebody to pat her on the back, but she damn well deserves it.
Let me ask you, why do you think
Where's our mayor holding a press conference with her standing beside him,
I'm
saying, "This is Montgomery's finest"?
well? What we hopefully we will have the conversation with the mayor sometime next week. They said sometime the first week in August, so we'll talk to him. Listen, you brought up things today that I hadn't heard of. I just hadn't heard of.
Well,
Didn't-
we've got a city council it seems like they've just given up, and whatever the mayor wants, they give him. And the mayor has made it a pledge to make Montgomery safe again, and they're blaming it on recruiting. Part of recruiting is retention. Uh, we have at least two people on the staff of the Montgomery Police Department right now who are at some point in time have been interim chiefs. They were good enough to run the entire department.
Mm,
But we just hired a woman with a fantastic salary from
yeah,
Baltimore.
they got a raise. They getting
She
a
came
raise.
in here to do one of two things. She's either going to fix the department and be our next chief, or she's coming in here to gut this department. I don't know what the long-term plans of this city is. I'm of the mind that if our city can't run its own police department, they're not competent enough to run it, then throw up your hands, write a check to the sheriff's department, and let him run it because he damn well can run a police department. That's
Mm,
just my opinion. I'm on the ground. I see this every day. I live in this town. I'm not like, I'm sorry, we're experiencing white flight in this city. We have for years. And one of the main reasons is we because you can't go on Atlanta Highway on a Friday night and be safe.
well, we certainly have some problems, Mickey. I
But
don't.
we also have thousands of good men and women. We have wonderful neighborhoods. I serve on a community neighborhood board through the city, trying to help neighborhoods grow. And one of the biggest requests we have from individual neighborhoods is to hire private security because we don't have law enforcement that has enough resources to patrol the neighborhoods as much as they need to.
Wow.
Yeah,
But we got.
what is that?
I don't
What
know,
is that?
but we need to have a longer conversation about this with some other people at the same time at the table and see whether or not there's actually a solution to this problem. Um, the,
Well, the solution is Jesus, and we all
yeah,
know it.
well, that's
But
true.
everything else, I'm sorry, it's carried and concealed time in Montgomery. It's a shotgun by your front door. It's security cameras, ring systems, locking your doors, keeping your head on a swivel, keeping and staying prayed up. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's-
Absolutely.
It's good to see you back on the air.
All right, or at least halfway on there anyway. Anyway, Mickey McDermott, one of the greatest attorneys ever be in Montgomery. And not only that, he got a set of jump wings too.
Amen. Airborne. See you soon.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye. Anyway, well, okay. Well, that's Mickey McDermott, the attorney at law. We got to go though, because it's about that time. You know, man, I didn't know anything about Beasley Allen's place gets shot up. Wow. And a woman who goes through a hail of bullets to stop a guy. Why don't we hear about these stories? See, that's why I'm here, because I'm the only guy in town that can tell the stories. Y'all just got to get them to me, and I'll let people hear about them. Anyway, time's up. We'll be back tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Have a great day. Oh, one more thing. It's not the falling down that makes you strong. It's the getting up every time you do. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.